I would never cry to a
Metalcore.
song. Let's be honest. I am a man.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the FIREBRAND channel. My name is Brandon. Michael has abandoned us, but today we have a wonderful replacement, Quinn of PARIAH. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry. I know that was out of the blue. My co-host, who's normally with me, he's busy. He's helping Santa pack the sleigh this Christmas season. So he couldn't make it. But I always got to poke fun at him
Big
every
gifts,
time.
little elves. He needs all the help he can get.
Exactly. But I thank you so much for agreeing to be on the show. I have been loving all the stuff that you've been pumping out.
Thanks,
cannot
man.
wait to see where you're headed. And I guess I'm just gonna get to my first question, so there's no
Hit it.
awkward pauses.
Let's go. Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Exactly. Here's the hard-hitting questions, such as what initially inspired you to start PARIAH?
Oh, man, just coming in hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
PARIAH is, I think, the starting point of a 10-plus year journey, honestly. And I'm not going to give you the whole, like, when I was 5, I had this happen. And when I was 7, it's like, this isn't.
If you do, I'll listen. If you do, I'll listen, man.
But, thanks, bro. The floor is mine. Yeah, PARIAH is, I think, the culmination of all of my years of pursuing music. And the catalyst that led to it specifically was last year, my wife and I moved to a new city. So I'm from Kelowna, BC in Canada. And then we moved to Edmonton, which is like a 10.5-hour drive, kind of northeast. So we're kind of up in the sticks now. And we moved here. We didn't know anybody. And we just wanted to plant our feet here and see if we could make a go of it. And it was a brutal year, but through the course of that, I met some dudes. We went to start writing music together. And I had, before we moved, been pretty much ready to quit music because I've just done it for so long and I've never feel like I've really had the momentum. Like I've toured regionally, but I've never had anything like really pop off. So you kind of hit a point in your like early 30s. What am I doing here? Are we really doing this? Are we not? I don't know. My lower back hurts. I don't know if I want to tour and sleep on floors. So kind of just at this crossroads in life. Met some guys up here, though, and got really inspired to do music again. And then it was kind of just the same old story of I'm the hardest working guy in the room. Not everyone was pulling their weight. It was a lot of we want to be in a band, but I don't think people realize how much it asks of you if you want to do it well and actually turn it into a career. So I pretty much watched that implode. And in the bottom of all of that, in this like brutal depression of just like, I don't know what's going on. I moved to this new city. I thought I was going to do music. Like I just didn't know who I was and where I was. And somewhere in the depth of all of that, I was like, I'm just going to do it myself. I'm going to like, the era is ripe. We have artists like Poppy and all of these other solo metal acts. And I was like, I'm going to try that. And this will be my last attempt. So I'm just going to go all in and see what happens. And that was November last year. So.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
That was a quick turnaround, man.
Yeah. This is the pace I move at. Like, it's not that other
All
people
right,
are slow. I'm just like autistic super speed. That's just my.
Okay.
I'm just strapped to a rocket. Yeah.
I think autism is. Oh, it happened. I got my camera. My camera shut off. One
Quick pause.
Sorry, please continue. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. That was kind of it, I think. Just left off at like the pace I move is super fast, having started PARIAH as of November last year. And then it's been pretty much just over a year since I started the project.
Yes. Oh, and that's when I got cut off saying that autism is a wonderful gift that we've been given. I'm maybe that was like my opportunity to stop talking because I might have said something silly, but I have rejected the gift of saying something funny, of not saying something funny. But no, that's awesome. That's an insane, work ethic. It sounds like this is a side thing. I don't want to say side thing because I don't want to like diminish the work you've put into it because it sounds like it's sort of the passion project, but it sounds like you do work and do this at the same time. So to have it, it was less than a year for that that turnaround. It sounds like you had a lot of it planned out too. That's a crazy work ethic into that. Was it like passion?
The EP. Well, I mean, I don't do Pariah full time. I would like to get it there, but it's definitely not there yet.
Right.
I mean, we're only 3 months into the rollout of the project, but I wrote the first EP with 2 ghostwriters, 2 friends of mine, Landon Taylor and Alex Sevigny. They each wrote 2 of the instrumentals on the track with like my just remote guidance from my computer. And I wrote like synths and some other stuff. But yeah, the EP I think was 3-ish months. And then shot 3 music videos, pitched it, managed to land a distribution deal, built a team up with Trevor and my other publicist, Jamie. Just like a whole group of people working on this thing, which has been awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And this is a little off topic from like the questions I have, but I wanted to say I love the social media can be a problem, and I think everyone can kind of get behind that sentiment. That being said, I'm loving the new era where bands can get a lot of traction through not only they need their music to be good, just like flat out. That's obviously a big important part. And to have a good audience, I guess would be a way to put it. But I love seeing bands get traction through basically memes. And then they include their music, and that's something I loved seeing on your account. Was like the new rollout is memes on your is having memes on your account that like sometimes plug music. I noticed that on yours and a few other band stuff, but I liked that you have to kind of plan memes in your music rollout. That's a crazy modern world trait.
Yeah, I mean, it depends like what you do with it. I feel a lot of bands are averse to playing the game because they don't want to, air quotes, water down their brand. But like, so my day gig outside of this, I also have a music marketing agency called Overthrown. And I've worked with Convictions, Holy Name, Heal the Hurt, like all of these guys and a bunch of other bands. And like, for example, I had that video explaining the kill switch engage lore to my wife, and I have those couple sleep paralysis demon videos that I did, and like they're kind of dumb, no doubt. But when those videos get the traction they do, every time someone shares it, I'm DMing them like, haha, thanks for checking it out, listen to my band. Or I'm like running ads and retargeting anyone who's watched any of those videos, educating them on like, hey, if you're seeing this video, it's probably because you watched this one, and it cuts to the video that they've watched. And then it cuts back to me, and it's like, hey, I also have my own band. Check us out. So I'm trying to capitalize on these viral moments as opposed to just posting a dumb meme. It gets lots of traction, and it doesn't really do anything to help build up who I am. So
Well, it's strategic. It's still
totally
strategic. Okay,
and they're adjacent memes. It's like memes adjacent-ish to my genre or scene. So it's still still kind of on the ball. Yeah,
exactly. And it's hilarious. It's still funny to me that like a big part of traction for a lot of some bands that might not work for all projects, but it's just a funny quirk of social media being a huge part of growth nowadays. But it's fun to see, and I would also not call your memes dumb. I have seen some dumb memes, even for promoting bands, and I would not. You put effort into those. Totally. So I wouldn't call them dumb. And
I like mix it up. I mean, I'm not trying to position my brand as super serious, very weighty. It's like I'm a full spectrum human. I have funny parts to me. I have sad and existential parts to me. And it's like you get the full picture of who I am across multiple posts. It's not just memes, and it's not just here's another song about death. It's like,
exactly.
Little A, little B. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. That does. Awesome segue right now. Ready? Lead me to my next question. Is what? And it's a one word title for the project, so you can just look up the definition of pariah. But I want to ask you the actual mind behind it. What does the name Pariah specifically to your project mean? Why is it called that?
Feel what makes the most sense about leaning into the term pariah. And again, you can just look it up, but in general, broad strokes, it's like an outcast, an outsider, someone who's rejected by their in-group or society. And I've always felt like I've grown up bridging worlds. Like I've never felt like I've totally belonged in a lot of places, whether that's in the music scene, in friend circles, in like even in faith circles and like church and stuff. Like I've never really felt totally at home in a lot of places. And I feel leaning into that and using it as almost a signal fire to other people who've maybe felt the same way. It's like, you can feel at home here because I know what it feels like to not have one. And I just really wanted to lean into that ethos of who am I really if I'm being honest? And how can I turn that into a strength as opposed to just like a stain on my character? And yeah, I was searching through names as you do, going through hundreds of words. And then when that one came up, and like for the record, I probably should have looked up how many pariahs exist, because if you look up pariah on Tidal, like it's a mess, dude. You cannot find my music because there's 1,000 other pariahs. So as a music marketing guy, probably not the smartest choice I've ever made. But if it became such an issue, I would just add something to it. Kind of like Kublai Khan is Kublai Khan TX now. So there's ways around it, but yeah, I'm just going to be the biggest pariah there was, and then it won't be an issue. Checkmate.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah. That's the way to do it. Just through sheer force of will, grow past all the other pariahs.
Just determination.
That would go incredibly hard. And then you do a diss track on all the other pariahs. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. So now I'm going to put a little marker here because I might have to cut this out in case you want to talk about it. But I want to get into the EP a little bit, if that's cool with you.
Hit it.
Okay. I'm really looking forward to the release. Something I hope I can kind of signal boost that a little bit with the video. But I did want to know, is there a specific concept behind, because you've been dropping them as singles, and I think they all kind of have their own individual meaning. Oh, I'm so sorry. My headphones just spoke to me and said battery's running low because I have heavies on. So that was so strange.
Just like, oh,
I feel battery's running low. Let me just plug them in real quick. I have 2 wires coming out of my headphones. That's fun. Is there a specific concept behind the finalized EP? Because all the singles that have come out so far have like similar album art or cover art, and I feel like sometimes that hints at a unified meaning behind the finished product. I don't want to assume though, because that's never been a preference that like, oh, they gotta have a consistent theme. But I am curious, is there like lyrically a theme that you wanted to go for between all of the music you're going to be putting out?
Right. Well, when I wrote these songs, it wasn't like I sat down and went, this is going to be a concept record. Here's the flow of everything. Here's the story they're going to tell. It naturally emerged a bit like that. But I didn't have that level of intention behind it when I started writing. For me, writing these songs was just how I chose to survive, like what I was going through. I just had to write them. I am working on a new record that is intentionally a concept record that's going to be fully thought out, and every song will tell a part of like a bigger story.
Okay.
But it is funny because I have this rough copy here, and this is actually
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this is a short story that I've taken from all of the songs and lyrics in this first EP, and I wove them into a bit of a narrative. So in retrospect, I've woven a narrative through them, and I'm going to have a little book accompany the release of the record. But it didn't start like that. Yeah.
Do you know Demon Hunter and their album Exile? That reminds me of that a little bit, but that really excites me. I love when you get like a little.
Give me the lore, yeah.
I love lore.
Big lore guy.
I got like Five Nights at Freddy's stuff on my shelf behind me. I'm a big lore guy.
I'm like my last band, or 2 bands ago, Living Machines, was a concept band that was all of the music told one story across every song and record. And we had like a comic book I wrote, and we put out, largely inspired by Coheed and Cambria. All of their music is one big story. So I love creating worlds, and music is just one part of them. So I love doing stuff like that, which is also why it's like Pariah, Keep Seeking, like all of these little Easter eggs that just create something. It's like an aura as opposed to just here's my heavy band sup new song.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. You have developed a lot in a short amount of time. Now it sounds like you've had a lifetime of like creative thoughts are developing in your brain. They must come out.
I can't escape. It's been that way forever.
It's not like you wanted to create. You must create. That's the vibe I'm getting. I think that's really cool.
Totally. Yeah, I have to. If I don't, I just lose my mind.
You could say you lose yourself.
I was just about to go there. I'm so glad.
Are you really?
Got him.
It's because I'm a true fan. That's why.
Check, please. Check.
Okay, so now I want to get into even more nitty gritty a little bit, if that's cool with you.
Oh yeah.
I want to hear. Here's a quick sidebar. Can I talk about the music that was on? Like, can I talk about the two singles that are on because I had questions about them, but the last thing I want to do is release stuff that you wanted to keep like on the down low.
No, you can talk about whatever, man.
Okay. Just wanted to double check.
Yeah, all good.
Beautiful. All right, we're back. So I wanted to ask you the meaning of each single that's coming out, because I loved jamming to just the music itself, but as soon as I heard the intro to the EP, I immediately was like, is this like I'm getting vibes. Like there's something else happening. This isn't just
pure
tune.
Lore.
Yeah, exactly. This one's pure lore. So I wanted to ask what Find Him was kind of meant to represent, or what it's leading into.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like when it came to the brand and trying to figure out how to create an ethos around Pariah, and again, like a bit of an aura to it, I wanted Pariah to be this character. Like how I carry myself and present myself as Pariah is a bit different than the mythology I want to have and build around Pariah. And I felt like to start it all off, I wanted to have this cryptic intro that almost felt like a weird cutscene from a movie. Yeah. Of someone's like maybe in this ancient underground, I don't know, network of tunnels, and they come across like a wanderer. Which is like kind of funny because Wanderer is the recurring character in the Diablo franchise, which I'm a huge fan of. And I was playing Diablo 4 and with my wife, and I'm like, oh, I just write Diablo core. Got it. Like, all of my lore is just pretty much from Diablo. Very good.
Hey, that goes hard. It goes hard.
Yeah, but I felt like it just set the tone for, again, like, who is the Pariah? Where is he? You need to find him. It's these constant little Easter eggs that invite you into this world and this person, as opposed to just do the like 1 minute fight riff breakdown and then the actual record starts, which are also dope. Like I love those, but I just love playing with the mythology of it all.
I think when you have such a vibey track, even it like I assume that's not intended for people to listen to on its own. Like they add it in their playlist. Because it goes
Find Him is charting.
The number one Pariah single is the lore exposition.
That would be sick. I wouldn't be mad at it.
But it's perfect because I love songs that lead into the following song. That's that always, like sometimes I will seek out the song that goes before it so that I can hear the little lead in. So I love how that ends. I won't get too much into. I don't want to get too much into it because I know you said you're an open book, but I don't want to. I think you deserve. I think people should hear everything for themselves without me.
It is something to experience as opposed to hear about. Yeah, totally.
Exactly. So I won't get too much into it, but it got me hyped. It makes it a much more pleasurable listening experience when it has like, as in listening to it all in order. Yeah, I used to I just add stuff to playlists, put it on shuffle. That's what I used to do. But then stuff like that,
that is crazy. That's a bold way to go. It's like, yeah, I'm so prog. I listen to all my concept albums on shuffle. It's like, bro, what?
Exactly. So that is changed. And that's an example of why that changed.
Big W. Big W. Yeah,
exactly. Hey, I'm normal now. I got cured.
We've
appreciate
arrived.
That. But obviously, like the single does, I will now lead into the next question, which is what is Pendulum about, the following single?
Yeah, Pendulum was the first song I wrote for Pariah with Landon, my friend. And this song was, in effect, me being like, I hate music so much right now, but I don't know how to escape it. So I'm just going to crawl back to it like I always do, even if it's kicking and screaming. So it's like it's really like the pendulum, the push and pull, that swinging back and forth of there's a calling on your heart and it's just been there for years and you can try to outrun it, but you just can't. Like I don't know how else to put it. It feels like that's just my purpose. And it was both the reluctant acceptance and admission of it being my purpose. And then, yeah, that was it. It's like years ago when I was playing in some bands, a friend of mine in a different group, he was like, we were writing so many songs in the studio that we ran out of stuff to write about. And then the vocalist was like, well, why don't you just write about being frustrated that you have nothing to write about? And then they wrote more songs. Yeah. So this was kind of, well, I don't really want to write music again because it drives me nuts. So why don't I write a song about how frustrated I can be with music? And that was Pendulum.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That, strangely enough, that reminds me a lot of other, not even metal bands, like I think it was Lady Gaga and Bad Romance. Like some songs are just straight up about not wanting to make music, and it ends up being some of the most popular music.
I know. Yeah. Especially, I mean, it resonates, right? Like art is this beautiful thing that we can all participate and co-create with as like this force in the world. But that doesn't mean you always show up stoked. Right. I have such a bittersweet relationship with music. Like it knows me more intimately than any person. And sometimes it gets, actually, to be honest, most of the time it gets the worst of me because I don't really write happy music. I'm not having a great day and I'm like, oh yeah, let's go like pick up my instruments and write like a big cry-core anthem. It's like, no, I'm depressed or feeling nihilistic. I need to cope. So for me, it's just that. Yeah.
That's, wow.
Yeah.
Pariah, the cope. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be a terrible tagline. But no, that's wonderful. Art therapy, especially, I feel like in recent years, has kind of come out, and I don't want to put labels on it for you, but that kind of sounds like what it's
totally therapy for me in like every single way. And like actual therapy is good too. That's also something I'm big on. But music is always kind of my first line of defense when it comes to managing my emotional state.
Wow. Yeah. That's beautiful. I mean, metalcore, hardcore, it just gets angrier and angrier as you get down the list of genres.
Sophisticated music for cavemen. Yeah. I love it.
Exactly. Like, what does my shirt even say, you know? But it's something that's a concept I personally have fallen in love with, that there is just, it's not acceptable to be angry to take out your anger on other people. Obviously, I think that's a sentiment we can all get behind.
Amen.
Exactly. Don't take out your anger on people. Yeah. And that's just one of the emotions that metal is going to have in it. It's just an example I'm using. So it's such a nice outlet when I can listen to the Cavemen, and the banging of rocks, and it's like the nicest outlet. I call it being happy angry. It's the August Burns Red tagline. It's angry music for happy people.
Totally.
I was at a deathcore show the other day, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is making me angry, but like in a good way, because like I drove home from that show and the traffic was making me angry, and I'm like, I'm angry again, but now it's like bad angry. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing in my opinion.
Yeah, and honestly, that's why I like metalcore probably most, is because it holds space for your rage and your wrath and all of those really intense, heavy emotions, but also like the melancholy and the weightiness and the sadness and the feeling lost. Like it has both of those a lot of the times in the same song, which is like, when I want to write music, it's either because I'm mad or I'm sad. Yeah. So the fact there's a genre that does both, I'm like, sign me up.
Exactly.
Like I'm home.
That's you got the metal for the sad and the core for the mad. It's perfect.
Absolutely. Yes. I love it.
So I think you can see where I'm going with the next few questions. I want to know the meaning behind Wanderer. And I should say that was actually my first single, because I follow Trevor and he was posting about
Shout
it.
out.
And I'm so love you, Trevor.
The boy.
He's he's a friend of the channel. We love that. We love this man. But I'm so glad that I didn't just like, oh, it's a feature, we'll add it because of the feature. I actually I dug in, and so I'm glad I did that. But I want to know what is the meaning behind Wanderer.
Yeah. This one is, I feel, next to the title track, maybe both similarly in their own way, but this is probably like the saddest song on the EP. And Wanderer just came from a place of like utter collapse, like emotional collapse, spiritual collapse. I was in this crippling depression, and Wanderer is me just writing from that place to try and articulate my experience and give language to what I was going through. And which is like ironic because 2 weeks before Pendulum came out, over the years, I've had a really big follower of all of my music. His name's Brian Shockley, or was. And sorry, this would have been, so not even 2 weeks, 2 days before Pendulum came out, his mom reached out to me and mentioned that he took his own life. So when Wanderer came out, we dedicated the song to him because it's really like, hey man, like you can be at rock bottom, but like just please know that you're not alone. Because I know what it's like to feel in that place and feel like life is just utterly pointless and what's the point in anything. So Wanderer is really a lot of that of, if I lose myself all for nothing, will what I do myself count for something? It's me just really weighing with like being in a place of, I don't feel my life has any meaning or value, and just putting that into song to hopefully make someone else feel less alone if they're going through it. Yeah, man, there's like a lot of like personal lore for like my life wrapped around that track.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm just grateful it's managed to reach people. I've had like some really profound conversations with people around that song. Sorry, it's like,
it's okay, man.
Yeah, it's like, man, it's wild to think about just in general, like the moments leading up to that song, what led to writing it, and then just like how humbled I've been and the amount of people who've reached out to me about it and like how it's helped them, like followers and numbers and like all that. I mean, sure, if you're trying to make music as a career, like you need to think about those things if you're trying to build this, but none of that to me matters and like pales in comparison to having one person you've never met reach out to you, just being like, hey dude, I'm in like the worst of places and I came across your song for whatever reason. And it helped me feel less alone. And like that to me is the power of music and like why I do what I do and why I'm an open book. It's like, yeah, man, I've been through tons of stuff and I'm just going to write it because I'm not ashamed of that, because I know that songs that people wrote in those spaces, unashamed of what they went through, those songs have helped me in my life. So why not keep that going?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, first off, let me say I'm incredibly sorry for your loss. I know that's kind of like such a stereotypical thing to say, but in full sincerity, I mean that.
I do appreciate that. Yeah.
That's an incredibly literary way to write a song. And what I mean by that is when you have, I don't know what the term is, contemporary fiction and literary fiction, where it's like contemporary is like you are seeing what is, for like a book, for example, what you are reading is what's happening in the story, and literary is like this is reflecting something more like a meaning.
Yeah, it's like events and then events plus their meaning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
And I think that thank you. I think that it makes something so much more impactful and meaningful when there's true meaning behind something. And I haven't heard that talked about for music quite as much. I know people have done stuff like that, but I love hearing that being included in lyrics because and I'm not naming anybody, but there are some people who are just like, I just want the music. Lyrics are it's whatever.
Yes, his secondary, auxiliary, whatever.
Exactly.
Yep.
They might as well make an instrumental. And I'm sure for some people that's great, but that's what makes people have a favorite song, is when that meaning behind it can truly seep into them. And so it's awesome to hear that it was able to be that. And I think Trevor was like the perfect feature, especially hearing kind of what the meaning behind it was, because when we spoke to him, that was what his music was all about with Heal the Hurt. So yeah.
I mean, it was really cool. Like, I met Trevor. So there's I don't know if you know the band Cliffside. They're like
yes,
and like
familiar.
Like the faith metal space as well. Mm-hmm. And I marketed their record when it came out. This would have been maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember. It's been a hot minute. Trevor caught wind of that campaign and hit up Cliffside, and they're like, "Who marketed your record? I need to talk to him." And then he ended up coming into my world, and then he and I started talking, and he had some clients that he works with, and the door was opened at that point. And then he mentioned that he was going to be coming out with his own band, and I was like, "Dude, I'll help you, whatever you need. I'll launch you if I can, like, run ads, whatever. Like, I'm in your corner." And then in exchange, he was going to help me when Pariah came out. So we just started to develop a bit of this friendship. And then he watched like all of last year, me trying to write a band, it collapsing, and then doubling down and deciding to finally do Pariah. And then I hit him up when Wanderer was coming around, and I was like, "Hey man, I have this song if you're into it." And at this point, like, Heal the Hurt off their first record, like, blew up. It was so awesome. I was super happy for them. Mm-hmm. So I was like, "Hey, I know that you don't really know me for all of my past musical endeavors, and it would be maybe taking a chance on me. But I have this song. Do you want to do vocals over it?" And I sent it over to him, and he was like, "Man, like, I would love to do this." And we went back and forth a little bit on it. And yeah, like, having his voice on it and the lyrics he brought and the perspective he brought as well, I just feel it was such a perfect harmony of both of the worlds and where we were coming from. And they just came together beautifully. So super grateful for just him as a friend, man. Like, he's been so good to have in my life, and being able to collaborate and just be little metal kids together was honestly like such a cool canonical moment in the history of my life. Yeah. And like, I couldn't be more grateful. Like, he crushed it. It sounds awesome.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm trying to stay in like this sort of serious tone we have, but
melt for me.
He crushed it. And when we were chatting with it, sorry, this is a little off topic, but when we were chatting with him, and now he was telling me it was like a more recent metal, like he had developed his vocals a lot more recently, that really surprised me. So
yeah, dude, he's been like putting in the work too. I'm really impressed with how far he's come as a vocalist in such a little time.
Yeah. I again, off topic. Do you know Confessions of a Traitor, that band?
Yep.
I had the absolute honor of at one of their shows before the show, their vocalist, we were chatting on the show, and he invited me on stage like at that podcast.
Sick.
And I had never done, like, I had only had a few lessons with Michael Felker of Convictions.
Yeah, I've taken a lesson with him too. Yeah, he's awesome.
Okay. And what I will say is that took me a long way, because he's a phenomenal coach.
Oh, he's a real one.
Yeah. But I was nervous because I'd never done anything. So I did that performance. I feel like I didn't do great, but afterward, I think after the show ended, Trevor was one of the first people that talked to me because he was at that show, and he said I did a great job. And that, like, I was so happy to hear that, because I am such an admirer of his vocals, especially in the little amount of time he was able to develop them and master them. Yeah, great feature.
Yeah. And I'll send it to you as well too. Sorry, it's coming out later, but or maybe you got it. I don't know if you're on my mailing list or not, but I just sent out the unplugged version of Wanderer.
I did see that.
Okay, cool. Just check it.
It was very. If you
haven't heard it yet, I'll send it to you after this. But
it's very good. Get on his mailing list ASAP. You're gonna get great news and great tunes.
Great news and great tunes. That's the tagline for my mailing list.
I guess it is now. I'm sorry that I'm coming up with these. Next time we'll get someone better. So you can't kill what's already dead. I want to get into the meaning behind Infinite Hologram. You probably knew what I was talking about, but for those out there who are not listening to Pariah, are you kidding me? I'm referring to his song Infinite Hologram.
Yeah.
What was the meaning behind Infinite Hologram?
Infinite Hologram for me is, so part of my like journey, spiritual journey, is grew up secular. I've always been very drawn towards religion and spirituality, but like wasn't in the household where I grew up. So by the time I was in school, I was exploring like New Age, Buddhism, like Wicca, whatever. I'm just like, there's a whole world here, and I want to learn about all of it. And that path, before having an encounter and becoming a man of faith, I was really into, and still am actually, a lot into the Stoicism, like the Stoic practice, which is more of a philosophy than a religion. If you're not familiar with Stoicism, it's the philosophy that the Jedi are modeled after in Star Wars, very like neutral to everything. And part of the Stoic philosophy is memento mori, which is you will die, and just like really leaning into that. And I feel like the more I meditate on death, we can all sit here and speculate, and depending on what we believe, talk about whether or not there's an afterlife and all of this stuff. But what we all know for sure is that we are going to die at some point. And I feel like that's so liberating. And the lyric, "you can't kill what's already dead," is like, you cannot hurt me because I've already died. Like that time hasn't come yet, but because I know it's coming, all of my pain is temporary. And in a way, I find that is just so freeing to really embody and live fully in the present and embrace like whatever it is you want to do with this life, because that's the only one we know for sure we get. And like on my desk, I have this like replica skull that just stares at me all day as a reminder of like, you're going to die. So live, like get out there and live, because time's ticking, man. Yeah.
That is a very, I mean, from my understanding, that is a very, I mean, as a Christian, that is a very Christian concept, that you will die, and that I'll just riff. I'll say this here. I haven't released it yet, but we're doing merch for the show, the podcast Screamers for Scripture, and on the back it says, to live is Christ, to die is gain. Death is such an important part of our faith, and a lot of people who are afraid to talk about it, I feel like they kind of see it as death. They see it as the one note worldly definition that when you die, your body goes away. But there's more than one definition to death in the word. There's spiritual death and physical death.
Yeah. So, and like metaphysical and allegorical and mythological death. Like there's so many layers to it, as opposed to just like, oh, I'm cold now and in the ground. It's like, no, dude, like
exactly.
There's like a real spiritual weight to wrestling with your finitude and your mortality.
Yeah. Whether you're a believer or not, certainty is you were born. The one correlation, the number one killer of people is being born. That's the only 100%.
100% of people who drink water die.
Yeah, exactly. So if you've been born and you're experiencing life, you will die. Oh,
correct.
How you grapple with that is up to each individual person, but that's a weighty, very philosophical topic to cover. So here's a follow-up question specifically for Infinite Hologram. Why is it the heaviest song in the EP?
I didn't write the lyrics for it before the instrumental was written. When I heard the instrumental, so this one was Wanderer and Infinite Hologram were from my other buddy Alex Sevigny. And I just heard the song and I was like, man, this is just asking for something to accompany the weight of the track already. And honestly, like I feel most of my songs directly or indirectly have some underlying tone to do with death. But this one, I just went all in. I was like, all right, this is the death song. Initially, before it was even called Infinite Hologram, it was just the death song as like a working title.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no other
That's
reason.
really
I just
cool.
heard the song. I felt like that's what it was calling on me to write about, and then I just went in. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, from the explanation you gave, it definitely makes sense to me why it would be the heaviest track, but I was still curious to hear like what the exact reason was. But it's really cool, and it's a really I love that neglecting. I mean, I don't know what the exact term would be, but basically neglecting time in saying that you can't kill what's already dead. Like the idea that you are going to die means that almost defines you in a way. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah,
but
well, in philosophy, you would say
putting
like our ends define our means. Like your ends define your beginnings. So the fact that you know you will die can change how you live today. And there's always this relationship, and in a way, it's like it does transcend time because it is this ultimate reality that we all have to grasp.
Yeah, thank you for putting it a lot more eloquently than I was going.
Big
to.
philosophy
That's great.
nerd. I got you.
Okay, beautiful. I love it. I love it. I get all my philosophy through like YouTube videos and Cormac McCarthy novels. So
Sick. Hey man, whatever works.
yeah, exactly. If you've seen No Country for Old Men, that's like a big part of my philosophy on
Goated.
Yeah,
So good.
That the author who wrote the books that movie's based on, a lot of my philosophy thinking comes from that. So
Okay, I actually watched that for the first time only a few years ago, and it was incredible.
really, oh my gosh, it's hard for me to. It's completely off topic, but I love that film. It's very introspective. And ironically, my best understanding from it came from a YouTube video. So that's as high as my lid goes. So yeah. Not to segue too hard from song to No Country for Old Men immediately back to song, but I am curious, and yeah, exactly. Speaking of No Country for Old Men, I want to. I'm sorry.
I love it.
I bet you're like, oh, I'm so glad I don't have to edit that. I'm not responsible for this podcast.
This one's all you, bro. Good luck.
Have fun trying to piece this Frankenstein together. I want to get into the meaning of the last song. I won't say the name, but
you can. It's all good. Get in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to know the meaning behind Swan Song because it definitely is like the softest, but it really works as like the EP release song. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not in that I don't know the terms, but I really want to know the specific meaning behind that song.
Yeah, Swan Song was. I mean, I wanted to have a ballad on the record, and I mean, just every metalcore record has to end with a ballad. It's a trope, but it works. I love it. I expect it. Just gonna do the thing.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. I love it. Just take me to just make it like sultry, little sexy, kind of sad. I'm like, yeah, sick. I love this. Swan Song was me essentially coming to terms with the fact that if Pariah doesn't work, I quit. This is it. So it was me putting it out there of like, as you hear in the lyrics, like, this is my swan song, one more, then I'm done. And I'm kicking off the project again in the way like I've already killed the project, which means I can give it everything I have. I'm just like leaning into that of I am so fed up with this pursuit. So if I'm going to do it one more time, it will very much be all or nothing. So, and I feel going into this entire band with that mentality has oddly enough bore so much fruit because it really is all on the line for me now, because if this doesn't work out, I am done. Like I just can't keep doing this. But for whatever reason, just writing that song was so cathartic of like, how would it be to start a band or a project or anything, knowing it would be the last time? How would that change the way you interact with it, the way you build it, the way you relate to it? And yeah, it's just so therapeutic to just work through all of these emotions going into it. So
that's incredibly thematic, especially coming off of Infinite Hologram. The idea that if the project will eventually die, it's already dead.
Yeah.
So you now have taken control over its demise in a way, if that makes sense. At least that's the way I'm interpreting it.
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
That's you're gonna make movies at any point. We're getting some good themes going with the lore, and
I do write. So I mean,
hey, we'll see.
I've never written a movie, but I've done a couple Done a couple pieces of literature for sure.
Have you been to a movie theater recently? You would destroy. I'm just teasing. But that's incredibly thematic, and I'm really excited for like the general listening public to see and hear that and kind of get the whole gift wrap of everything you've
I'm
made
curious to
so
see
far.
how it'll go, because a lot of people have reached out to me and have said Infinite Hologram is their favorite, which is interesting because Swan Song is not that.
Yeah,
it is very much not that. So
like
we'll see.
You're worried people are expecting it to get even harder than.
I don't know how I
that.
feel about it. Like, I feel the first 3 songs, like Pendulum Wanderer and Infinite Hologram, are all just metalcore tunes. They don't pull any punches, but there also aren't many surprises. It's like, oh, this is it's a metalcore band writing metalcore songs. But for the deep lore of people who know me from before Pariah, I did a 3 or 4 year stint under the artist alias Milo Quinn, where I wrote dark pop. And I wanted to bring part of that back into what I'm writing now, because that's another side of me that I really enjoyed exploring sonically. So the first, however many minutes are literally just a Milo Quinn track. It's just me doing my dark pop stuff that I used to write, and then kicking into the Pariah side of things. But I'm curious to see how that will go for people who don't know that about me, and just see what it'll be like for a first time impression of, oh, like he takes it to this place. Interesting. If you're not familiar. So
I am excited to see that too. And I feel for you, because obviously I'm just curious. I am a spectator. This is your baby. So I'm sure this is, and I'm not saying this to make you anxious. I'm trying to pick your brain a little bit.
Riff, it's all good.
But
Trust, I've probably thought about it 20 times. So
okay, good. I'm sure there's a big weight to that. Like there's a responsibility, because that's like I said, it's kind of like your baby. A lot of people, that's how a lot of artists feel about their work. So I personally think people are going to love what you got cooking up. Maybe I'm biased. Sue me, but it's I'm a huge fan of tracks that kind of do that, like almost not, I don't know if this is what you were going for, but almost trick you in a way where it's like, oh, we're gonna do soft, and then it kind of rises at the end, and
you're like, oh, last track on the record, maybe it'll stay chill or whatever. But yeah,
and so I love tracks that do that sort of thing. So I
don't write it with other people in mind. It's just like, this is the song I feel I want to write, and if people like it, cool. But I am curious. It's more of an intrigue than an anxiety, I guess.
Yeah, no, and I mean that's kind of a beautiful thing that you don't have. You're not. It sounds like you're not like super worried about making sure it's max streams, max. It's.
I write songs about death and dying. Like, I'm not for everybody. Like,
yeah, maybe not like the Sabrina Carpenter, Chapel Roan type audience or whatever.
Right, but hey, if they want to sing over a riff, like, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
Let's get that going.
But that makes it a more, like I said earlier, that's what makes people, I feel like, especially for metalheads, or even rock, that's what makes people have a favorite song, is because you put your heart on your sleeve, and that really resonates with someone. That's how that it communicates with them in a way that no other song has. And so that's what makes the genre beautiful, in my opinion, is it's not just what topics are trending. I'll make, today's the song I'd make, today's the day I write my song about cheating, or today's the day I write my song about being cheated on. It's there, you get in the nitty gritty when you start getting into these genres, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man. And if one person again hears that song and it really connects with them, then I'm grateful for that. It might not be everyone's favorite, but I'm sure it'll be at least one person's favorite, and that's cool. And if no one likes it, it's one of my favorites. So there we go.
That's all that matters at the end of the day, I think.
Yeah.
I love it. So
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
the official FIREBRAND endorsement. So this is, I have some later questions to end the show with, but I do want to have one last, like, really one of the deeper conversations before we before we sort of lighten things up, if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah.
I really, because this is a faith-based show.
Yep.
And before we were recording, you were telling me it's not, even though it's a part of your lyrics and it's part of your inspiration, I'm sure it's not being branded that way, and that's totally understandable. But I would love to hear your testimony, because you've been hinting at it left and right, and I'm really curious to hear. I would love to hear your testimony, as long as that's something you're comfortable sharing, because it sounds it's a big part of you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge defining moment in my life. Essentially, as I'd mentioned, grew up in a secular home, and I've explored all kinds of things. And there came a point where this would have been, I can't remember how many years ago now. It's been a while, but the lifestyle of sex, drugs, rock and roll, and all of that inevitably hit its climax, where I was 3 days into a bender, hadn't slept, partying, drinking, doing drugs, just essentially had a moment where I felt my chest get super tight, and I went to the bathroom, and I started to get blackening tunnel vision, and I was like, oh, I'm about to have a heart attack. Oh, I'm dying. This is not good. And leading up to that, it's really hard to, it's hard, because we only ever remember the last time we remembered something, which is why it's good to write stuff down. But also, there was so much happening around that time in my life that, for example, I had friends who had been started to become curious about Jesus, and there were knocks at the door, I guess is the language that I would use that might make sense to some people, leading up to that moment. And I'd become a little bit curious about Christianity. My armor had started to come down toward it, even though I would have not called myself Christian at all at that point in my life. I grew up pretty much hating religion, mostly Christianity, just because of religious hypocrisy and a lot of the evils that have been clearly attributed to it throughout history. And all of that, circling back to the moment where I'm on the bathroom floor and I feel like I'm having a heart attack, and I drop down, and I just remember it all happened so fast, but I remember being there, and it was I just kind of prayed. I was like, God, if you're real, save me from myself, because this is it. And I don't want to die like this on a bathroom floor and be this embarrassment to my wife and my family. And it was all so real in that moment. I'm like, this is it. This is the moment. And what happened next, I've always struggled to put into words. And some of my favorite theologians have often talked about how the more you try to define a mystical experience, the more you withdraw the mystery of it, and the more you actually diminish it. But the best way I could put it is I had an encounter in that moment, and I felt this wave of love and acceptance wash over me in a way I've never experienced before. All of the blackening of my vision stopped. And I remember audibly hearing these words of it's okay. And it was just this surreal experience, whether it's an encounter with God or the Holy Spirit, however you want to put it into words, that happened. And as a guy who grew up not believing in God, that moment forever marked my life. And I still don't know what to think of it. I have better tools and language now to articulate that and try to make sense of it. But that was where it all started to turn around for me. And from that day forward, it still took maybe a year or two to kind of burn away the parts of myself that would eventually come between me and actually going to a church and starting to get more involved in walking with God. But that was the catalyst of where it all started to change for me. After that, maybe a year or two after, I went fully sober for almost 4 years. I drink casually now and stuff, but it was that was it, man. God just picked me up off a bathroom floor and was like, okay, here's a second chance. Don't blow it. And I felt like I've been working towards trying to honor that in the best way I can since.
Wow. That's incredible. And first I'll say congratulations on your sobriety. I can't even begin to imagine how difficult of a mountain that is to climb, because like my biggest struggle is like food, you know.
Okay,
So I'm
yeah.
like, you know, I'm
We all have a vice,
incredibly-
dude.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I'm not trying to diminish anybody who has severe like food addiction, but I'm just saying that that's, from my understanding, it's an incredibly difficult mountain to climb, and I don't want that to go unnoticed. And so, congratulations, first off. And that's, I've heard a lot of testimonies that are like, I was at a rough moment, but it just worked out, or you know, I don't know how to put it. Like hearing the actual saying that there's like a mystical side to it is incredibly powerful to me. That's incredibly powerful to me because it sounds like at the time, again, I'm these are some assumptions, so please correct me if I'm wrong. That
Oh yeah, all good.
really hypercritical of things, especially when it came to the Christian faith. That gives it a lot of weight and authority when you kind of put it that way. Some people are kind of afraid to acknowledge that there's a supernatural aspect to the faith that is vital, because like for some people the faith can be just it's a really good way to live. It's philosophical. Like there might not really be a
It could be
God.
like a moral or an ethical code
Exactly.
for a lot of people. Yeah.
And there is a moral code written on our hearts that is a huge aspect of the faith that's important to me and to the faith. But I think that's that is a beautiful testimony, and I think it's incredibly inspiring that you're willing to talk about it and talk about like some parts that maybe some people would be iffy to hear about. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. I mean, whether I chose to butter it up or soften it, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, that's just what I went through. And it's not really my prerogative whether someone chooses to agree or like the way that happened. It's like, that's my life.
Yeah.
It was just a moment in time and it changed me forever. And I remember actually when it was my baptism, I got up and there was about 300 people at church and I shared that story. And it was really powerful to hear after. I had a few people come up to me. One guy was like, "Hey man, you probably don't know me, but stories like yours remind me not only why I'm here, but also they remind me to not take any of this for granted." He was like, you know,
Wow.
sometimes I come in here and I'm like, you know, is this really doing anything for like me or the world? Like, are we all just kind of going through the motions? And to hear someone who's been like radically transformed was so grounding for him. And I feel it's like whether I'm an open book to like why I write the songs I write or the experience I've lived, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's like, man, if we filter who we are for the sake of other people, we're actually withholding the ability for other people to heal. Because like being a human is messy, no matter which way you put it. It's like, why do we hide from our messiness? Like, who are we trying to fool?
Yeah.
You're not fooling God.
Yeah.
You're also not fooling me. So like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. It's wow. Sorry, it's hard to follow that up, because that's like the most that's like an incredibly inspirational story, and this is a thing I struggle with on most podcasts where I hear like a testimony like that, because I'm like, so you doing merch, or you know? But
Dude, thanks for bearing your soul. Where can people find you online?
exactly. That's
crazy.
It's but that being said, I will always fight to hear those stories, because that maybe not to the same extent that the music is going to reach, but that will always reach somebody, whether they are already a Christian, and it reminds them that they didn't just like, you know, swung a baseball into their neighbor's window and they're going to their angry guardian who's like, oh, you're asking for forgiveness to a God who will forget your sins. And at least that's the way it's put in the word, in the sense that it's all you have to do is come back. And that's a beautiful, and ask for forgiveness. And that's I'm getting choked up hearing that story, that testimony, but it's that that sort of thing is important to share with folks, in my opinion. So
and like I feel like my entire walk is this act of like drifting and coming back. Like it's not like I just had this experience and all of a sudden I'm just made perfect and I'm just good. It's like, no, I still have all of the parts that make me who I am, that led me to that moment, that I still have to wrestle with. I spent most of last year just being super mad at God and the world and everyone. And I'm like, I'm on this arc of like that part of me dying to myself and being born again in this continual work of like walking and being made clean and renewed like over and over. Like it doesn't just start and stop there. Like it's the path and you walk it. And sometimes the path is brutal and you don't want to walk it and you run backwards and you go off the beaten path and you come back on it. Like it's not easy and it's not clean cut. And again, it's just messy, and faith is messy. I've had like, I mean, one of the biggest things that like got stamped out for me before I came to faith is I've always had this idea of like, oh, like faith is a crutch. People just believe so they can get into heaven and they're just being good so they don't go to hell, whatever. And it just makes their life easier. It's like, I came to faith and I'm like, dude, this is way harder. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the bar is so high. Like, what?
Are you?
This is crazy. Yeah, like,
I don't get the.
Is anybody seeing this? That was a huge shock. That like really opened my eyes. I was like, oh, like to take this seriously is going to ask everything of you all the time.
Yeah,
that's tough.
The big misconception about the faith is that this is why prosperity gospel, in my opinion, is
F's in the chat.
Yeah, F's in the chat. L prosperity gospel.
Big L, dude.
It promises something that's just a complete and utter lie. We were promised suffering in the word. So to say that you will be good and that the world will be a better experience if you are in the faith, it's ridiculous. In fact, the world will be better from a biblical standpoint. The world is more pleasurable if you're not a Christian. You get to indulge in all the earthly pleasures that ultimately lead to the worst lifestyle and
can confirm almost literally led me to my death.
We have a
more than once
there.
actually. So there you go.
Well, there you go. And I don't mean to like poke fun at you for like
I do, but it's what it is. I can still laugh about it. I've lived it, but also it's like it is what it is.
Yeah, but
the world will chew you up and spit you out, dude.
Yeah. We are promised suffering, but I can say with full sincerity that the closer you are to Christ and his example, the better of a life you will have.
Amen.
It's either party now, pay later, or pay now, party later. You know, it's quite literally that.
Can I party and pay now, though?
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite lines out of any church father is Saint Augustine. It's like, Lord, make me chaste, just not yet. Like, that's crazy.
That's yeah. Can I have my cake and eat it too, please? I know you're not supposed to do that, but
shout out Augustine. What up?
Yo, check out Saint. No, I'm just But anyway, you've already given me more of your time than was blocked out. I greatly appreciate you coming on, sharing such a deeply personal side of you. I know you said you're comfortable doing that, and it's important to do so, but it's not easy for people, even if it may be easy for you. And so it's a beautiful thing, and it's a very meaningful thing. And I'm honored that you were willing to do that on the platform that I'm responsible for.
Of course, man.
And so
I also have some time too. So if there's other stuff you didn't get to, like, I'm just chilling. I have a Christmas party in like 2.5 hours. So if there's a couple other things we didn't get to, I'm happy to talk about that.
I have some light in the mood questions so that, people can kind of.
Why aren't you Christian metal?
So do you hate God because you didn't say his name in your music?
Actually, yes.
We had, I guess God's got a sense of humor. I had King of Waste on the show. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they were a Christian deathcore band that came out. They're very recent, so I'm not expecting you to know them. But they have some of their members, their other projects are secular. And so it was the exact same joke. Like, are you? Oh, so I didn't realize you were a Satanist, Diablo loving. That's.
I didn't realize you were an absolute heretic piece of garbage. Crazy.
Exactly. I would love to hear what it's like being evil. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
but
how is your heathen lifestyle?
I actually, I don't know if it's a controversial take, but I do think bands like yours are incredibly important, even to the faith. So I joke about it and we're playing with it, but I really don't believe I don't believe that's a thing. You know?
Fair, very fair.
But the more lighthearted questions are kind of just like what's next questions. Do you ever plan on getting? I know it's a solo project so that can make it difficult to do shows and stuff. But is that ever something you see in the future for Pariah?
Yeah. So in the music videos, Mikey on drums. Michael, I just call him Mikey. I'm like, hey, can I call you that? He's like, sure, and I just do. It's like it's a nickname. I love it. So Mikey does drums and Bronson on guitar. So for the music videos and any live performance stuff, they will be the band. And the new stuff we're writing, similar process where I have 5 or 6 ghostwriters as well. So I just like put the bat signal up. I have people who send in instrumentals. And then now for this record, as opposed to the last one, we're actually filtering all of the songs through all 3 of us. So the guitars will get reworked with Bronson in mind, and the drums get reworked with Mikey in mind, as opposed to the first EP where it was like, here's kind of the instrumental, do your thing vocally. And then I would do like structure notes and post pro and other stuff. But a lot of it was like, here it is, here's the final guitars, ship it off for mixing, which moves fast, and the new stuff we're writing takes a bit longer, but it's also made for like a really like the end result I think has a lot more to it because we're really taking our time. Like this first single we've written for the new record is crazy compared to the first one, and I cannot wait. It's like a whole, I'm sure most bands say this, but generally speaking, like it's a huge step up from our first batch, so I can't wait. But yeah, shows will be a thing.
Awesome.
I don't know where or when. I'm hoping to sneak down to the south at one point and rip some stuff with Heal the Hurt. But TBD, the main goal is just to release a song every 4 to 5 weeks indefinitely until I blow up and get a record deal or something. So we'll see.
Indefinitely? Does that even after what you're doing now, the EP and stuff?
Oh yeah. So I have releases pretty much ready until like April right now.
Okay, that's
my guns are out and they're not going back in the hole. It's go time.
You put in a cheat code, you got infinite ammo.
Yes,
that's incredible. And like I said earlier, that takes some work ethic, and
it's a lot.
It's inspiring to see. Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's a lot.
I shouldn't have said cheat code because that's a disservice. That takes a lot of work. I imagine. I don't make music, but that's incredible.
Round the clock, man.
And I know I joked about asking it earlier, but I actually am curious. Do you ever plan on doing merch for Pariah?
Yeah. We're my designer Ross, who's also my partner at the marketing agency. We're in the process of doing up some of the first designs for the merch capsules. Nice. Hoping to just do like limited drops. If you're on the mailing list, you get first access. So you know.
Good to know.
Yeah, and then some of it's going to be on brand. Like one shirt I'm really stoked to roll out is the amount of times people in the comments will just say that like I'm not metal or metalcore is not real metal or whatever all the time. I mean, like, you know that you're in metalcore. Most metal elitists think we're goofy. That's fine. So I'm gonna do a Pariah isn't metal t-shirt, but it's gonna be in like death metal letters.
Dude,
it's gonna be fantastic.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
Take
the wallets are out, baby. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna lean into it. Again, same thing, right? Like,
yeah.
If people are trolling online, I'm just going to run with it and own the trolls.
That's awesome. That's a phenomenal idea. I'm excited to see that. I've thought this. I've never said it out loud, but I've thought this many times. Like, considering, because I'm more of a recent. This is a joke I've made. I've been a Christian my whole life, and I interview a lot of people who became Christians like more recently, but they've been metalheads their whole life. I am a Christian who converted to being a metalhead after being like not my whole life. So, 2020, yeah, 2024, October 2024. I went to a Demon Hunter concert.
What?
October 2024.
He's just walking. He's just walking, baby. What? Let's go, dude.
I should say
another
I have been I enjoyed metal I was one of those like, oh, I love all genres, and Demon Hunter was becoming a favorite band of mine. I should show you if I can do it without messing up everything. Oh, you can see my pajamas. Dang it! But
all good. I work from home.
There you go.
Oh, let's go, dude.
So not quite at the area you are, but eventually I'll get all the tattoos on my body. But I went to a Demon Hunter show 2020, end of 2024, and War of Ages was there as well, and like getting exposed to other bands. A little bit before that, I started exploring Christian metal, but that's what solidified it, and that's why I started the show, and it's completely taken over my life. So anyway, and
I feel that's also why it's important though to have bands who do claim the name.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you need a place to go, and you're exploring your faith, and you want to live more into it, lean more into it, and listen to music that speaks to that. I think that's great.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel close to God when I listen to Holy Name.
Yeah, I definitely.
Just like every time, I'm like, I might as well be in church. I'm at the gym, and I'm just like zenned out on Gregorian chants and fight. It's so good. So good.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
We love Holy Name around here.
Shout out.
Shout out to Holy Name. But it's like I blanked out on the term when they build cars, not a conveyor belt, like when anyway,
like
you're passing off
factory.
It's like assembly line, I guess. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought when I was trying to come up with that word, but it's like you have bands that kind of inch people closer, but then you also have the bands at the end of the assembly line that are the full-on Christian. And I'm not saying like the only reason you exist is to convert people to Christianity, but it's beautiful to have bands that are inspired by those lyrics, because we have bands that are inspired by the opposite, and music with the wrong lyrics can be really bad for people. So it means a lot when people like really take into account the weight of lyrics. I mean, like, language is the lens through which we experience reality based. Well, it's like,
it's going to drop that on you.
That's a crazy quote.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. That's incredible. That's very it's a really good quote. I'll make this my last question, because I've already kept you for incredibly long.
Sure.
Thank you again. But this is just a good landing spot. What do you want listeners of your music to walk away with at the end of the day?
I feel if people listen to my music and they feel seen and heard in a very real way, that's all I could ever want. I want my music to hold space for people when they feel like nothing else does. And I feel music does that for a lot of people already anyway, but I would throw my hat in that camp of wanting to continue that tradition of, man, life can be brutal. But you don't have to feel alone in that. And I write from that place of devastation and spiritual collapse and existential dread and all of that. And like, I've got you. Like, you don't have to feel alone, because you're not. And I hope my music can serve as a place for people to feel at home when they feel like they have nowhere else to go.
Wow. Well, you just said the quote that's going in the thumbnail, and but
for real though, like music's like the thing that's always been there for me. I've always felt so understood at a deep level through music. It's also one of the transcendentals, right? Like, if we want to talk theology, like beauty is one such language that I've always felt I've experienced God, and music more so than any other form. There is a spiritual, like a powerful spiritual reality that I experience when I listen and engage with music and art. Yeah. So I just hope it can help someone else in that way that it's helped me.
Wow. That gave me a thought. I know I was just saying I'm gonna end it. I was gonna, but
I love it, man. Let's do it. What's up?
It's a beautiful thing because, and again, from a faith-based perspective, we're not in the Renaissance anymore, where the lead artists that get the most attention, I guess, and have the highest quality, are faith-based. A lot of the time, it can, or at least it can feel that way. Like, the biggest movies don't go through that lens. So we are, I feel like the scene, we're getting to a point where that is, for music specifically, I should say, I'm using the Renaissance as an example. But we're getting to a point where it is coming back. There are a lot more people looking through that lens where it's more than just music. Art is an incredible communicator, and the one we focus on here on the show is obviously angry, sad music, with blast beats. But
shout out blast beats, dude.
Exactly. But that's hilarious. That's like, it's a wonderful thing that you can kind of see it through like a for lack of a better term, transcendent lens. It's
dude, music is so sacred. It really is. Yeah. Like the fact, like when you really just zoom out through any lens that you perceive the world, there is like no evolutionary value to music. None whatsoever. Yet here we are, like building worlds with sound. Like that's incredible. Like if you just think about that, that's insane to me. And in a way that like communicate things that can't be spoken. It's it's profound, man. Like it just, ever since I've been a kid, I've been obsessed with the unspoken world that I can tap into with music.
It's like when you talk, you're talking on the x-axis. Lyrics are on the x-axis. When you add music, you get a new dimension of communicating. I hope that.
Dude, it's like sense, 4D communication. It's insane.
Exactly.
And it's like the fact that, and like just to riff on that, the fact that you could play a sad song for a group of like 1,000 people, and they would all most likely experience the same emotion from engaging with that. Like that's incredible to me. And
they don't even have to speak the same language.
No,
like
they can just feel it. It's like no thoughts, just vibes.
Exactly. Yeah.
They just know.
That is a huge part of the genre we're in is just vibes, no thoughts. Maybe that'll be what goes on the thumbnail. No thoughts, just vibes.
Have the most like crazy existential talk. Pariah on the show. No thoughts, just vibes. It's like what?
Yeah. Just completely abandon the whole philosophical conversation we just had. No, but now I can say thank you so much for giving us your time. It's been an honor. I'm really excited to see more people sort of respond to like the final release. I'm ecstatic to hear what other things you got going on. I'm now going to have a reminder that goes off every 4 to 5 weeks. And now hearing you say that,
I'm coming for it.
Exactly. And you know what? This is how I normally end podcasts, but I think that it would be a fitting end to end the show. Would you be comfortable ending today's show off in a prayer?
Oh, yeah. I was actually going to ask if you wanted to pray before we started. So let's go. Let's do it.
Do you want me to start or do you want to just go? I'm cool either way.
You can kick it off.
Okay, I'll kick it off. Okay. Lord, thank you so much for this beautiful day. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to have this wonderful conversation that glorifies you and your name. I pray that today's episode will reach somebody's ears and their hearts and bring them closer to you and your word, Lord. I pray over Quinn here that his project reaches people emotionally and touches them and helps them be seen, Lord. That your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. In your name, I pass it off to Quinn.
Yeah, God, thank you for this opportunity to be here and to share my story with this platform. And yeah, I would just pray that for anyone out there listening, just know that you're not alone. The world can be filled with so much darkness, but just know that you are loved and that you are cared for, and the darkness doesn't have to have the final say. We can always choose to step boldly into the light. Yeah, and we'll all be here waiting for you if you do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.